Hey guys, Scott here today with another set of post-commentary duels. Today we're going to be featuring Bao, who's been a really solid player, pretty much in Dark Souls 1. I didn't fight him much in Dark Souls 2, but I noticed the way he played was very reminiscent of like a Souls 1 player. He has a lot more focus on backstabs and stuff, which is good because I'm not used to having to deal with that. And he has really, really good roll backstabs, and he gets me a bunch of times, and it takes me too long to adapt. But this is really good practice because I, up until now, had never really fought such a player that had really, really backstab-centric mechanics. So this is kind of interesting. I'm also going to be doing it in a bit of a different way. I'm going to be kind of, playing the video for myself and not, panicked talking over it. I'm just going to play it and then go back and forward as I need to. So if anything interesting happens, we can pause it and see what happened, etc. So this is the very first fight. Let's see how it goes. Probably should have, done that like when he was actually in the area. But hey, that's right. I started the recording earlier, so I could say that now when he was running up. Whatever, it's fine. So this is my first fight. I see he's got Tears of the Nile and he's got the Lucerne. So I usually counter halberds with the Karthus by swinging and then rolling away before he can actually hit me, and then roll catching him. And now it worked the first time, but I don't think it's going to keep working again. Also, he's double rolling every time, so I'm never actually going to end up roll catching him. In fact, I found it very hard to roll catch him in general. Like here, he always double rolls, so he doesn't actually get roll caught very often. It would have been smart of me to actually run with him and wait for him to roll maybe twice or three times, but then that's a risk because he could end up doing a rolling attack. So now he's staggering his R1s and just doing them over and over again because I basically will never have an opportunity to attack as long as he does that, or this will happen. See, I got greedy there, and that was a bad choice. And he busts out this straight sword, tries to do the weapon art. I guess it's a roll catch, but I was too far away at that point. So I think the card this is actually not working against him, which is surprising because I can usually beat a halberd player with a card that's pretty well, but he knows how to counter really well. So I'm going to try using the superior range of the spear, which is it's a relatively safe idea, but you still got to be careful because the Lucerne with the Leo ring can get counter halberd trades, which end up hurting a lot. So I do not ever want to trade with that. I want to stay out of range and poke him, and it's hard to do that. Especially when he knows what he's doing. That was a good roll catch by him. I panic rolled. Then he lined up a straight sword weapon art for some reason, which is a bad idea. Definitely should have done that. Does a brilliant roll catch with the weapon art that time, though. That time it worked really well. And now we're on pretty even footing. He's 2 hits from death. He's got Tears of the Nile on, so I load up my throwing knives, knowing I'm going to need it. He also has regen, so I know I'm not going to be able to use my Armor of Thorns to kill him with the 1 health, so I just throw 1 more life. In that, 2 seconds, he regen 13 health, so that's why Armor of Thorns against players that just have any type of regen, not good at all. Also, that's him messaging me on Steam, so don't worry about it. This happened in the past. It's okay, so. First fight went pretty well. Second fight, he adapts to me much better, and, well, you'll see what happens. But, we start off basically the same way. Basically, when a halberd fights a Karthus curved sword, it's going to be a lot of rolling into it, a lot of waiting to see if they have an opportunity to attack, a lot of backstab attempts, and a lot of roll catching attempts. So it ends up being a lot of the same, but eventually I realize it's just not working on him anymore. Now that's the first time he actually almost gets a backstab on me, so I get a little concerned by that. Swap back to my Sun Princess ring, but I disregard it for now, which I shouldn't have because he backstabbed the shit out of me during these fights. So I had a running R1, but I don't really win the trade because he gets a probably a Leo ring Lucerne counter hit on me because we swung at the exact same time, so not a good idea. So I switch back to the spear, trying to just plainly outrange it. Then I try Karthus because, whatever. We're just messing around. I kind of want to try something else out. I'm not particularly great with the Karthus, but I get a rolling L1 on him, but he gets a Lucerne counter hit for probably 600-700 damage, so I end up horribly losing that trade. I'm trying to see if I can rolling L1 him in between the halberd swings, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm not particularly great with Karthus, so I probably shouldn't have used it against another really good player, so not the best idea because I don't really know how to use it too well. I mostly relegate to waiting patiently for a opportunity to use a rolling L1, but if I'm going to be practicing, I shouldn't do it against someone I'm recording a video with, so I switched to Astores to see if that's going to work at all, but ultra great weapon against the good players, almost useless, so that lasts for about a half a second before I realize that's not going to work. Then we go back to the Gargoyle Flame Spear, and really it seemed like the safest thing I can do is just try to outspace him perfectly, but he's learned and he's very hard to hit. And he almost roll catches me there, too, because I panic rolled. And I don't even punish his Estus. I knew he was going to attack after that Estus, because that's a common thing people do. After you do a passive maneuver like throw a knife or drink an Estus, it's very common to attack after that as well. So I just cannot find an opening on him at all. Gets a Lucerne counter hit. Almost catches me with the straight sword counter hit. Or I'm sorry, the battle art. Then he takes the washing pole out because he's a son of a bitch. And that is the ultimate finisher. I used to use the washing pole as well, but I don't know. I got kind of tired of using it because it is the best finisher in the game. There's no weapon that does a I need one more hit on you better than the washing pole. So eventually it clips me, but I can't blame him because it is the best at what it does. So really fucking hard to deal with unless you have a shield. And I don't like using shields. So yeah, washing pole running R1 is that's the thing. If you have plenty of health, you can actually just stay in range of the washing pole, and it's not that big of a deal. Because it doesn't combo on 2 hits, and the moveset, other than the running R1, isn't that great. But it's the running R1 that is dirty, especially with the Leo ring. So the problem is if you only have 1 hit left, then you can't stay in its face either. You can't really do anything except just die. That's why the washing pole is by far the best finisher in the game. And honestly, if I was going to be in like another tournament or something like that, I'd probably end up using it because it's just too damn good at it. But unless the opponent has a shield, which I should probably start using. I don't know. I've never liked shields in these games, but I should probably start using them because it does counter it pretty well. All right, round 3. We are 1-1. I kind of forget what happens in this one. We'll both be learning. I think I tried the Goddards again to see if I could try the rolling on 1. I could have backstabbed him there, but I didn't. I don't know why I didn't. That was really stupid of me. Try a roll catch there, but he always double rolls, so it's not going to work. I'm only hitting for 180 damage on his... 180 damage is really, really fucking weak for a straight sword, so I kind of think I'm going to ditch it. But I got a good rolling attack on him, which makes me think, oh, wait, I can use this, but... Oh, man, sure. Like I said, I'm not very good with Goddard, so... Probably not the best choice. I'm not very comfortable with them at all. Definitely stick with him for a little while, though. I just can't find the opportunity to actually get a rolling R1 on him. That time I just missed the running R1, which is awful. He doesn't seem to really get me with that roll catch very often. I feel like if he did the R2, it would work a lot better, but here I start getting impatient, and I just really want to swing at him. I think I go for a backstab attempt, like right there, but instead I end up getting backstabbed. So that made me very upset. And then for some reason I just didn't roll when he did the weapon art. I think I was mystified by the backstab, so... I want to make sure, actually I want to check, did he get a roll backstab on me? Because I know he does that before. Let's see. Yeah, he does. Like, so you can see I'm facing him right now. Then I get flipped around. But that's, I mean, that's standard Dark Souls shit. That's why it's cool fighting a player that spent more time in Dark Souls 1, because it's making me learn how to deal with backstabs more. So, let's see. Yeah, because due to latency, see how where I am right now, how I'm facing away from him? On his screen, that's probably what he sees, so he just turns in R1s, and then I get flipped around. Yeah, that's totally legit. That's how, unfortunately, that's how backstabs work. Once you initiate the grab, it doesn't matter which direction you're facing. You just get backstabbed, so... a lot of these fights, I learned how to deal with backstabs a lot more, so these are actually really, really useful. Unfortunately, I don't learn until like 5 fights in, so... then after the 5th fight, I don't even get close to getting backstabbed, but I had to learn to not roll into him a lot. So now I thought I'd try a halberd against the halberd, even though he's got the Lucerne counter hits with the Leo ring, and he will out-trade the shit out of me. I think my strong suit is spacing, and I want to see if I can space him perfectly, so that is what I'm going to go with this time. I'm really surprised that rolling R1 missed. I had the right idea there, but it didn't work. But yeah, I like to think my spacing is probably my best part. So I'm going to try relying on that instead. But unfortunately, halberd versus halberd battles end up being really, really silly, just R1 mashing fests. Because none of us are going to do the R2, because if he does an R2 spin, I'm just going to hit him and knock him out of it. If I do an R2, he's going to hit me and knock me out of my jump. So it's like, it ends up being really, really, really basic. But it's, well, it looks really basic, but it's actually not. It's more complicated than it seems, but, someone posted a great comment on the Duels with Score about how low-level duels look actually the same as high-level duels, except high-level duels are basically doing it in a calculated manner. And that was true. There's some hilarity to that, because a lot of these fights do look like there's just nothing to them, but it's anything but that. I'm not saying like, oh my god, I'm such a PvP god, look how much better our fights are, but I'm making fun of myself saying high skill fights look pretty damn stupid. So regardless, I'm just winning on the halberd trades against him. Then I immediately roll in before he can get any regen. So the halberd worked out really well, but I thought for the sake of keeping you guys entertained, I would not do that again because halberd versus halberd duels are pretty boring. I think I give it up like a little way into this, or immediately. Well, he switched away from the halberd too, so I think we agreed that was just going to be boring as shit for everybody. So now we got Flame Spear versus Flame Spear, which is he's got a shield, so he's got the advantage already. I noticed he tried to set up parry me there, so I'm not going to attack twice in a row every time. I'm going to get it into his head that sometimes I'll attack once, sometimes I'll attack twice, and sometimes I'll attack like 5 times in a row. I just can't be predictable and have the same pattern. So I know he is going to try to set up parry me now, so I have to adjust accordingly. And now he gets a roll backstab on me again. And this is a perfect example of how to roll backstab. So this only works against people like me that roll into people. But look at what he does. So I roll into him, and instead of R1ing again, he stops, pivots, and turns around. Now, on his screen, I'm still facing away like that. So he's already turning around. But even though I'm facing him right now again, it doesn't matter because on his screen, latency hasn't caught up yet. So that's how roll backstabs work. They rely on like the glitchiness of the game to not sync up your facing position properly. So even though I'm looking at him right now, he still starts the backstab grab even though like I've been looking at him for a while now. It doesn't matter. So then he goes into the backstab grab and then I get backstab. So that is how you do a roll backstab. Very effective. I don't encounter it very much, so I'm actually really rusty against fighting it. It's been a very long time since I've had to actually deal with it well. So I think he gets me with it like one more time until I finally learn that I cannot roll into bow. So I unfortunately learned a bit too late, and we only had time for a couple of fights. So there we go. Hits me with one again. And that's just because I'm rolling into him. Pretty much all the damage he's dealt to me has been from the backstab this fight. And that's my fault. I know what roll backstabs are, and I'm just not used to fighting it. So to actually go against it is a welcome return to like older Souls combat. I just had not been used to it for a while, so definitely caught me off guard. But I think from now on, I don't get backstabbed again because I don't rely on rolling into him anymore because he's very good at roll backstabbing. So it's definitely hard to deal with, and it counters my playstyle a lot. So I'll definitely have to work on something aside from that to actually end up countering it. But he's got a severe health advantage now, and I can really only hope to try to just pepper him down with R1s. And that time I attacked twice in a row because I noticed he hadn't parried in a while. So I figured, this son of a bitch. This guy ruined my day. He ruined my day in my fight club yesterday, too. It's fine, though. It's fine. We both have regen, so we both regen an equal amount of health. It's a really scary position to be in because if he hits me first, I lose. See, I was surprised he didn't set up parry there. I would have swung 3 times, but I thought the setup parry was coming, so I didn't do it. But he changed up how he played as well. He's parrying, like, it seems to be less now. Because he knows, like, I mean, again, like, I say this, like, every fight. Like, when 2 good players are fighting, it's very rare that one of them will actually get parried. None of them are going to fall for setup parries. None of them are going to fall for, like, the obvious R2 baits. I don't know why I just sat there and took that running R1, by the way. That was really dumb of me. So, I definitely played sloppy toward the end there. I mean, like, the 2 backstabs definitely sealed the deal, but, yeah, I just played really sloppy at the end there. Pretty bad stuff. But, the thing I learned from that was to not get roll backstabbed by him, and from now onward, I don't actually get backstabbed, but it took me too long to learn how to deal with it. I mean, it's really easy to deal with it. If you know a player that's really good at roll backstabbing with a shield, just don't roll into him and immediately try to attack. You can roll into him and roll away again, but do not roll into him and try to attack. You'll just get backstabbed, so I unfortunately learned that a bit too late. So I'm going to stick with the spear now, and spear against spear shield, I'm at a disadvantage here, but I'm just trying to rely on better spacing and better timing to win. Definitely harder to do, but I want to see if I can do it. So he tries to set up parry me again there, but you know, I'm not going to attack twice every time, and basically I'm making it, you know, unpredictable. I attacked twice that time, but not the last time. So I'm making it so it's getting into his head that it's too risky to try to parry because, you know, he's just going to end up taking damage for it. And the damage he does is not really worth the risk. So as long as you keep changing your timings, you don't need to do R1s. You don't need to do anything else fancy. It's just R1s are really all you need, as unflashy as they are. They're the most effective attack in the game. They combo. They cost at least stamina. They do almost the same amount of damage. I mean, it's the best thing you got. And people always say, well, you can do R2s and R1s to mix up your timing and stuff. That was a great roll catch. But you don't have to. You can just change the timings of your R1s. And, hey, it might make you more boring, but, I mean, you guys that watch me know I don't try to be effective. There was a very sloppy guard up. I don't know why he did that. That was a really poor choice, so that was him fucking up pretty bad. I fucked up really bad last time. He fucked up really bad this time, but good players absolutely fuck up all the time. Does happen. Tries to set up parry me again, but, I mean, at this point, he's got to know I'm not going to, like, attack twice in a row in a reliable manner. I don't think he tries to parry again for the rest of our fights now, so at this point, he's pretty low, and all I really need to do is just poke him once and then roll into him, so I still want to play safe because just because he's low health doesn't mean he can't kill me. That's a big underestimation people have, or overestimation people have. Some type of estimation that people have. It's not a safe idea to just go all crazy on him, but he's trying to roll backstab me there, so instead of attacking more, I just backstab, or I just roll instead. Almost gets one again. He's not in roll range because he's regenerating health, so now I attacked first and shot out a throwing knife because when you attack first and use the throwing knife, it comes out much quicker. So that's a really smart thing to do if you want to catch someone off guard. Your second throwing knife comes out much, much faster. So if you need a really quick throwing knife, that's a good way to do it. And then finally for our last fight, we were 3-3, and then well, let's just see what happens in the end. We had a really good fight, and then he took such a huge gamble, and it paid off. It was really, really cool. But we really had really good fights. Yeah, he taught me a lot about avoiding the backstab. So we had really good fights, and I probably shouldn't have used the Goddards earlier because I sucked with it. But regardless, I really enjoyed these fights a lot. And I learned a lot, and, well, I'll let you see what happens at the end of this one. It's a perfect example of how smart players and dumb players look exactly the same, but it's a completely different thing. Playing dumb actually is like a mind game between two good players, so, well, you'll see it in a minute, but it's pretty damn funny what happens. And it's actually, it looks really stupid, but it's actually genius. So, man, I'm hyping this up. It's not that exciting. But we'll see. So I tried going back to the cards just to see, what the hell. I tried backstabbing him right there, but it didn't work. So then he R1s, L2s, R1s, R1s, L2s, R1s. Surely he's out of stamina. Nope, he still got more. And then I just give up the win right there. So this is known as the, I don't know what it's called. It's called like the false I'm a noob bait. So, okay. First of all, we're going to look at how many times the R1s and why I thought I had more openings. So one R1, staggers a bit, another R1. Another R1, another R1, then an L2, then an R1, then an L2, then an R1, then an R1. Okay, so at about this point right here, I assumed he was out of stamina. And he almost was. He had one more hit left. That hit right there, he had one more hit left. So I was like, okay, that's it. He screwed up. He used all his stamina, so I'm going to swing. Except he wasn't out of stamina. He had like a sliver left. I don't know how he had that much, but he still had enough somehow. So here's the thing. That caught me by surprise, and it scared me. But now right here, now he is completely out of stamina. I even asked him on Steam to verify it. He was completely out of stamina. He was in range, and he had enough health to be basically, two-shot by the Karthus. Even with Tears of Denial, he'd be dead. So the problem was, my brain did not have time to process the fact that he was out of stamina until maybe a second afterwards. So, if you can see right here, he doesn't roll. He's like, oh shit, I'm out of stamina. But I don't attack him. I just do nothing. Because I'm so spooked by the fact that he attacked 9 times in a row that I just stand there and do nothing, and I let him roll away, and I give him space. Now, then he has time to switch to the washing pole, which I'm fucked. There's no way I can beat that without a shield. So, I just gave him the win there. I had the win. He took such a gamble by using all of his stamina there. He took such a gamble, and it paid off because I got scared, and I didn't actually R1 him to death. I could have easily just killed him right there because he was completely out of stamina, but I got spooked. That is called a gamble mind game, and it looks like he's a complete idiot player attacking 11 times in a row, but this was all absolutely calculated. And it's something I do too. You don't expect good players to attack 9 times in a row. And then all it took was that 1 second of fear. That one little second of fear, right here. That's all it took. That 1 second of fear. Because instead of attacking him and killing him right now, I just let him run away because I was on the defense waiting for a roll. So Bao ends up taking the last win. So very, very risky gamble, but it paid off because it fucked with my head. So that's the kind of shit that I love. I don't care about doing fancy weapon stuff. I don't care about, whatever techniques. I don't care about doing R2s when they're not necessary. That's the kind of shit I love about this game. Those like mind games, those, gambles and things like that. That is what I love. That is everything I stand for in these Souls games. So I may be boring to watch, but when you think about what's actually going on, it's actually really, really interesting. So I don't know. I love that kind of shit. But anyway, that is it for now. Bow, motherfucker. Beat me 4 out of 3 times. I'm sorry, 4 out of 7. So winners bow 4 to 3 solely because of that gamble. I should have won. All I had to do was press R1, but I got spooked and fucked up. So really well done. Risky, but it worked. All right, guys, that is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. If you didn't, you're probably better than us. If you did learn something, then, well, yay. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.